So, Jim, when the air traffic controller said they lost contact, how often are they monitoring that? Is it constant?
It is constant to the extent where they have regular reports that they have to make and that sort of thing. I would suspect, and I don't know this for a fact, but I would suspect that they also may have lost radar contact with it. This route, as you pointed out on the map there, is mostly over land. They're not dealing with the thing here where this airplane was over the middle of the ocean someplace. And being over land means there are lots of places and lots of antennas and lots of radars and lots of radios that would be to your disposal. This sounds really bad, Anderson. It sounds like a really bad situation. I've been trying to come up with every scenario I could to just explain this away, but I haven't been very successful.
Well, I mean, you point out that it's over land. This plane was 2 hours late getting to Beijing. You would think, unless I mean, obviously there are some very remote regions in that area that the plane is flying over, but there are no reports from the ground of anybody spotting this plane.
Yes, that's true. And again, one can assume that the Chinese government has radar stations all over the place for their own security. I would think that they would have some way of being able to detect when that airplane was and when that airplane wasn't. We're dealing with an airplane that is about as sophisticated as any commercial airplane can possibly be at this point in time. It has, as you mentioned, an excellent safety record. I mean, their only fatality has been the Asiana crash in San Francisco. There's been one other 777 that had some problems, but no one was hurt in that. This is really a shock in lots of ways.
This may be a dumb question, but I mean, when the airline says they're trying to find this airplane, how do they go about trying to find it? Are they just waiting for reports from the ground? I mean, how do they actually go about this?
They use everything available to them. You use any reports that are coming in from people on the ground. They also would launch aircraft to fly along that route and see anything that's available. This, of course, goes over international lines, so they're going to have to coordinate with other nations to have access to their airspace and ask them to also join them in the search for any wreckage or anything like that. I came up with one wild scenario that if you had a total electrical failure, and if that happened on that airplane, there is a backup to the backup to the backup radio, which can be used. It has very limited range, very, very limited indeed. It's something like maybe 100 miles. So if that happened, and that's a very remote possibility, you would not be able to communicate with anybody by radio until the actually was on final to land someplace. But we don't have any evidence of that, and just the sketchy information that we have so far, it doesn't sound very good.